everyone, and welcome to Module 5. This week we're talking about postmodernism, and to celebrate postmodernism, I decided to wear my Ninja Turtle costume. So you can see it has a nice Ninja Turtle thing, shell going on here. I have a cape, knee pads, and elbow pads. It's pretty awesome. Now, you might be wondering why I'm wearing this to celebrate postmodernism, but postmodernism really relies on concrete experience over abstract principles. This is a concrete experience. It is post because it denies the existence of any ultimate principles, which is a characteristic of the modern mind. Modern being the period we were talking about before with modernism. So right now I'm forcing you to experience my Ninja Turtle costume. So that is how I relate this to postmodernism. This week is going to be pretty busy for multiple reasons. So that is that. There's other assignments that are due this week. For example, your quiz, which is due on Sunday, and then also your final project milestone 2, which is a draft of your final paper. And it should be a structured draft. So it's not a rough draft, meaning there's like pieces missing, maybe it's not organized that well. It is a structured draft, and we'll go through what that means. First thing I wanted to talk to you about is going into your grades area from Blackboard and click, for example, on your milestone 1 assignment, and then click View Rubric. And this will bring up the rubric that I use to grade your milestone 1. And it will also provide you with the feedback that I wrote out for everyone. You definitely want to check this out before you start writing your structured draft, because I left a lot of you feedback on some concerns that I had about the pieces you chose. So check that out before you write your structured draft. And if you have any questions on how to find that rubric or view my comments, let me know and I can help you out with that. This week in the discussion board, and I'll show you that, you're going to choose a piece from the postmodern era. And the postmodern era is pretty broad, but what you need to do is address some specific questions that are in the prompt about your chosen piece from the postmodern era. So the piece I chose was A Short Ride in a Fast Machine by John Adams. You'll have to let me know what you guys think about it. I did a write-up for you trying to address all the questions that are in the prompt. But the big assignment for this week, and let me know if you have questions about the discussion board, but the big assignment for this week is your structured draft. So I wanted to bring up the rubric here. And so what you want to do, and I attached a copy of the rubric to this announcement. So you'd be able to just click on it and go to this document that I'm showing you right now. You want to make sure that you read through the prompt up here, which basically provides you an outline of what you should do in the paper. And this needs to be a completed paper. So there should be an introduction, which is the overview, the body, which is the analysis and the compare and contrast, and there also should be a conclusion. I know it's not on here, but there should be a conclusion because this should be a complete paper. But this walks you through what you need to do. So you need to start with an overview, which provides all of this information, and then you need to analyze each piece of art. You also need to place it in historical context, and we'll talk about that in a second. And then once you've analyzed each piece, you need to compare and contrast the two pieces. Now let's go down to the rubric. You should also be looking at this when you're preparing your structured draft. It tells you exactly what you need to do to get 100% on each one of these critical elements. So for example, in your analysis, it tells you that the historical background information assists the reader to interpret the works of art and suggests how the information relates to its context in terms of subject matter. So what it's saying here is that you really need to place each piece of art into historical context. What's going on at this time? What could have influenced this artist? How is it an example of the style movement? What features reflect the style movement and the time period? And you really should be drawing on resources to back up your analysis. And there's a lot of resources through the Shapiro Library, and so another link that I've attached to this announcement is one to the Art History Library Guide, which will provide you with some resources and places to start to find resources on your pieces. You want to make sure that your resources are reputable. This means that Wikipedia is out. Do not cite Wikipedia, but do cite things like Smart History or the Grove Dictionary of Art, things like that, and the resources that are available through the Shapiro Library, as well as the resources that were listed on your Milestone 1 rubric. So go back to that document. I also want you to check out the compare and contrast section. So you want to describe the differences as well as the similarities between the two works, and this means more than one, so multiple similarities and multiple differences, and relate them to the larger qualities of the style movement of each work. So this is a really important concept. So you're comparing and you're contrasting these two pieces, but you also need to talk about how the larger qualities of each piece that are different from each other relate back to the style movement. So this is the document that you really need to look over, and let me know after you've read it through if you have any questions about it, because you definitely want to understand what is expected and how you're being assessed. This is basically all I have for this week, and have a good Thanksgiving. Bye!